Hi, I'm Dr. Andrea. Welcome to the Ask the Author series on resilience.
Today I have the pleasure of introducing you to Basak Gunaydin.
She creates personalized wellness experiences that are based on yogic tradition as well as modern therapeutic techniques. She empowers her students to help release the struggles of mind and body so that they can get in touch with their own power. And from that place, they can create satisfaction and fulfillment in their lives. Basak is located in New York, and she specializes in corporate yoga, yoga therapy, life coaching, and meditation and luxury retreats. So I am so excited to welcome her. Basak, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Andrea. So happy to be talking to you today.
And congratulations on being a co-author for this beautiful new book, Resilience Through Yoga and Meditation.
Thank you so much. This is such an amazing project. I'm very proud to be part of it.
So what inspired you to really share your personal story with the world through a published book?
It's actually interesting. This was never my idea. I never thought that I would write about this, but Denita approached me. She approached me and she said, what I do, and especially around the Power of Woman group that I created, was very interesting to her. We started talking and she said, your story might be inspiring to some of the women in the workplace. So why not share yourself with everyone? And it was a challenging thing for me, but I've done it and I'm so happy that I did it.
Well, I'm happy too, because just reading your chapter, I felt like, oh my gosh, she knows me. We have both been through some of the very similar experiences. And it was, I think for some of us women to see someone else who's beautiful and successful like you, who's, still discovering the beauty of life, even, past your 30s, it just, I don't know, I think it gives me inspiration and it gives me that sense of hope that, hey, I'm not alone. There's someone else out there with me. So I thank you for that.
Thank you so much. It's great to hear that because it is challenging to share yourself authentically. You always feel that, or at least for me, it was, would anybody be interested in my story? I don't have that dramatic story to tell, but it's my story. It's just true to me. And I know that I have many friends and many students that share what I've been through, and I'm so happy to be able to share it with you.
Yes. Well, I don't want to give away too much because I certainly want people to read your story in the book, but I would love it if you would just tell us, where do you get that beautiful accent? When did you arrive in America? Where are you from originally?
I am originally from Istanbul, Turkey, and I came to New York right after I graduated college in Istanbul. I was in my very early 20s, and I was very excited and ready to take on the corporate world and become a successful woman at the top of the corporate ladder.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned that you got caught up in that whole success mentality. And of course, your parents probably had a part to play. They wanted you to be, come into America and make something of yourself. But like so many of us, you reached a high level of success, but you still weren't satisfied. Tell me a little bit about that.
Exactly. We are told from an early age, success means this, success means that. So the families, the society tells you, if you make enough money, if you are successful in your workplace, especially being a woman in a foreign country, being on your own, this is what success looks like. This is what you would achieve and you would feel this way. But it is not so. And that's what I realized, all that hard work, all that, rewards financially and, even having friends and being able to travel the world, there was something missing that's coming from the internal. That's not really what external could give me. And that took me a while to realize because I had to take a breath and really see where I was in life. And that happened in my late 30s, actually. as I started really delving into self-development.
Well, one of the things you mentioned was that, yes, you got caught up in the, getting a good education, being out there and being, challenged and stimulated. But you mentioned that you were armoring yourself without even realizing it. And you were pushing this internal struggle away. So what happened in your 30s that you started, really looking in the self-development world and so on?
See, I just came to a point that I realized I was unhappy, unfulfilled, and quite honestly, bored with life.
Bored.
I did not have a relationship that was satisfactory. I had many relationships that didn't go anywhere. I always blamed the work for it. I work too much. I don't have time for it. And I felt, even though with the life that I had, I was really not myself. I didn't feel that I was really fulfilling my true mission in life. And I didn't know what it was. So I had to start looking inside and see what was that thing that was making me passionate about, that wanted me to get out of bed in the morning, be excited about life.
And what did you discover?
And I discovered that it was actually about being of service of others. And that took me a long time. It took me probably 10 years of doing coaching trainings and self-help books and yoga therapy trainings and all of that to really understand that what fulfills me was having other people be happy and finding their true mission in life. That gave me my own mission to be realized.
Wow. So you mentioned in the book that yoga has really been, and meditation, but yoga has really been a way for you to connect with your authentic self and to feel that sort of confidence. And now you're able to help women with that. And I love this quote. You say, your yoga mat is a small version of your life. Explain. Explain that to me.
That's actually a pretty common saying in the yoga world. The teachers say that a lot.
Okay.
See, because it's a small idea of what you can master in your own life. If you could master your own body and your breath and how you use that in a very small confined area, that's your yoga mat. Without having your mind wander all the time and having all these doubts and worries coming into your mind, but really be present and full on focus with what you are doing within your body, within your breath, and be conscious of the feelings and emotions arising. That is, to me, having a mastery on your own self. And that, if you can experience that, it's just an experience that it takes. In your yoga mat, you can actually experience maybe the same way of being outside in the world. And that's what yoga did for me. I really got to see who am I being? What am I holding? What am I releasing? How am I reacting when I can't do a pose? How am I reacting? Am I getting angry? Am I getting discouraged? And what do I do in life with that? So I started looking at from that perspective, and that gave me so much empowerment in my life.
Yeah, that's a beautiful analogy. And I think what is inspiring about that concept is that yoga helps you get clear on where you're creating your own resistance and drama, but it did not take away your drive for still being a successful person. It just brought a new awareness in how you're being. So you're still, in the business world doing your thing, right?
It became on the contrary, because I got to a plateau in my workspace where I felt I am unhappy with my work. It's just not going to work. I need to quit my job and now focus on my yoga and meditation. But then as I delve into more and more of this practice, I realized yoga doesn't happen just only on the mat or in a confined studio. It happens in life. And when I get the tools to be able to apply in my life, to be able to be conscious of my breathing, to be able to be in my body, but also be able to see others from eyes of compassion and a heart space, then I can actually create a certain fulfillment, create certain connection with my coworkers, with the people that I work with on a day-to-day basis. And that changes the whole environment. And when I adopted that in my workplace, I even saw most of my now department that I lead, a pretty big department, they come to classes, and the connection that it creates between the people, that makes people to want to work harmoniously and want to achieve more, because this is a place that we spend most of our life. So it actually helped me in my business world to be happy and fulfilled.
Wow, that's awesome. So you're able to take that energy and transform, an office setting, which is a huge impact. Something else that you mentioned, which again, I can relate to, is this concept of finding fulfillment in your 40s and finding that true life satisfaction in your 40s. And in fact, I'm going to read this quote because I love it. You say, "My personal message to all the beautiful, single, successful women out there is this. If you have not yet met your partner in life, it's simply because you have not met yourself yet." So you met yourself through this process of self-discovery and on the mat, and you found love, right?
Yes, I have. And I do owe that to yoga and meditation because, again, there's this idea, at least for me, there was an idea of what looked good on paper, what kind of person should I be with, what would suit me. And I realized after really getting connected to who I was in my core, all that facade didn't matter. And what mattered, it was the true connection, true compassion and love that you can feel for someone. But that starts within you. Before having a full love and acceptance of who you are, it's so hard to love and accept somebody else. And that's what I discovered. And I was so lucky that I met a person that is just absolutely perfect for me, inside and out, in every which way. But it took me a while to get that realization of what it is that I was looking for, really, what was going to make me happy. So that was my message. Of course, this is not some kind of an impose on anyone. Not everybody chooses to be with somebody else in their life, and I totally respect single women. I was a single woman for a long time who wanting to be free and all of that. But I find even more freedom having a relationship with someone who supports me and who encourages me to go and do my thing and gives me all the confidence that I always would need more of. So I did find the satisfaction in my love life as well. Yes.
That's good. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I think one of the other interesting concepts that you bring up is the concept of mother karma. And you say that we women in particular, we carry the karma of our mothers with us. Can you explain a little bit more about that? And how do we work with releasing what could be, very heavy karma?
So in yogic tradition, it's believed that we are spiritual beings, not a physical body. We are spiritual beings living in this body in this lifetime. So there is an understanding of a karmic history that coming back to life again. And that's something that I truly believe, because we could not be just this physical body. So in terms of the mother's karma, as we are spiritual beings, as we choose to come back to life, it generally happens in a way that you find a karmic connection with a mother and a father that you choose to come into this life with. In the, again, yogic tradition, the mother, if it's a yogi or yogini, who is getting ready to give a birth, they do a lot of karmic cleansing, because they know that when you are part of your mother breathes for you, and breath is the prana, the life force that is coming into you for the first 4 or 5 months.
Right.
So during that time, you do get your mother's karmic past. It is influenced to you. It's a very energetic idea. So they do a lot of cleansing, the mothers, a lot of meditation, a lot of chanting to release that karma so the child can come to this world pure with their own karma, not carrying yours. So that's where that idea is coming from.
And well, you're describing a mother who's conscious enough to do all of that breathing and clearing the karma. So for some of us who may not have had a mom who was doing the chanting and releasing, it's up to us, correct?
Correct. So it's up to us, and it's not something like, oh, it's my parents' fault, because we like to do that a lot. That's a good escape. But no, just becoming aware of, just noticing what might be is not really truly authentic to you, but something that really is adopted from your parents. Or there are a lot of those type of situations where, you know, we do this way, we think that way. And there is that just in general, like generalization of the family dynamic. It's okay to remove yourself from it, is what I'm saying. It's okay to actually say, that doesn't feel right to me at this moment, and I'm going to just choose to feel or think differently. That's, again, the concept of having a mastery of your own emotions, on your own mind.
Yes, yes.
And it's a constant struggle. It's not easy for any of us.
So what do you recommend then? So what you've just described is a process that I use, which is just kind of saying, wait a minute, where did this come from? Is this mine? Is this someone else's? Does this serve me? Does it not serve me? Maybe it served me in my past or in my childhood, but right now, is it relevant? So other than that conscious thought process, is there anything else that we should consider to help us kind of release these thought patterns, these karmic patterns from our past and our family?
So this is what I believe. I believe that we all have our own light within us, but most of the time we are either not present to it or we don't remember we have it. But once we are connected to that light that is unique, individual, and beautiful for each and every one of us, when we are connected to that light and put that light forwards, when we meet a person, meeting that person with our light at the forefront, rather than all our baggage, all our doubts and worries and emotions and anger and frustration and judgment and all of that, but just that pure light, then we can be free to really choose who we are in any given moment and create a connection that is more genuine than just like a made up, you know, just for the time being. It is authenticity, I think, starts with just knowing yourself and finding that light within yourself. It's so easy for us to all go for what's wrong all the time, what is not working all the time. But what if we looked at it as, what do I have to offer? What is it working for me? What are my good qualities? And bringing those at the forefront. Our mind is always making everything more doubtful and more calculative, and but our heart, just connecting to our heart. That's where in yogic tradition, the Atma, the true self, resides.
So I have another question. You mentioned that two of the two parts of your daily routine, one are the bandas and the other is yoga nidra. And I'd love it if you could explain those two.
Sure. Banda literally means a lock in Sanskrit. When we stop the breath flow or the prana into a specific part of the body and hold the breath, when we breathe again, we are actually cleansing the prana that goes to that area. We are rejuvenating all the cells in the body. And when you do this practice, and there are a couple of different bandas, starting with the Mula Band, Udayana, and Jalandhar. When we do use these locks, you're actually rejuvenating and you're actually getting this new fresh energy come to you. So I practice a banda every morning before I start my day to just release the night and the day before, because our mind is still active during the nighttime. And just start fresh and start creating an intention for how my day is going to go. So bandas are that way for me. In terms of yoga nidra is the psychic sleep. It's the sleepless sleep. When the mind is active, your body is put to sleep with a series of directed meditations and exercises, which is helping your mind to just connect to one thought, which is the sound of that meditation. And when you do that and being able to relax the body, you're relaxing in a whole different level, because in our modern society, we are really never relaxing. If you ask people, what do you do to relax? What are some of the answers? I drink wine, I watch TV, I take a bath. In any of these instances, your mind is never shutting down. Mm-hmm. So to create that relaxation in the mind and the body, we bring the brain waves to theta levels, where all the healing happens. And when mind and body are completely relaxed, then we are more open to new insights, new intuitive powers that we all have, that knowingness. So those two practices are vital practices for me that I do every day.
Got it. And so is yoga nidra then, you call it psychic sleep, but you can also do it during the day. It's not that you only do it at night. It's also a rejuvenative practice.
Absolutely. Actually, in the morning is the most preferable when you are not sleepy, because it's so easy to go to sleep in yoga nidra. You're laying down and close eyes.
Yeah.
It's actually better to do it in the morning when you're fresh and you're not really tired. Then you can really be aware of all the exercises that's bringing your mind into this calm state of place. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you for that.
Sure.
So our last little thing is I love this idea of the POW, the power of women groups that you're leading in New York. I'd love it if you tell me a little bit more about that, because I think one of the things that many of us women are starting to appreciate is this sisterhood, this concept that we can get together and support each other.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to always be so competitive amongst women. So tell us about the POW, and it seems like you have a theme for each meeting. Is that correct?
Correct. So POW is a women's support group, but it is not a social group. It's an action group. We are different than other groups. We incorporate three things in our meetings: yoga, meditation, and coaching. And coaching is done in a group environment with the support of one another, so that you're not solely responsible to having to have an action on each session. You're actually being supported and lifted up by all the other women. We create new teams each month. We meet once a month, but it's systematic. So those teams are furthering us towards our life goals. That brings us happiness and fulfillment. See, woman has a special, intuitive, divine feminine energy. And when you are more of woman, then you can really connect and create something magical and wonderful. And when you start making each other accountable, when you start lending a hand when someone is in need, that creates a whole world of difference. And the women in my life are so powerful and strong and intuitive and insightful. I had to bring this out in the world and bring as many women as possible to this group to create magic.
That is really beautiful. I would love for you to host some sort of an online component, so that, for us over here in France and Monaco, we could participate. But I just want to thank you again for the work that you're doing in the world, for sharing your voice through this book, Resilience Through Yoga and Meditation. And I'm really excited that we're connected now. I look forward to meeting you in person.
Same here. You're always invited here, and I'd love to come see you. And thank you. This has been such a wonderful talk, and I can't wait to read more about what you do and get more connected with you. Very impressive, and very happy to be part of this little interview. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.